Hi, I'm Christian Salazar from Valley High School. Support for today's varsity quiz is provided by Silver State Schools Credit Union.
Coming up next on Varsity Quiz, it's the Advanced Technologies Academy, ATEC, taking on Valley. This is Varsity Quiz. Hello and welcome to the 50th season of Varsity Quiz. The best and brightest high school students are matching wits in this unique academic competition. Tonight, the road to the Blue League Championship continues. ATEC is facing Valley. We started with 20 schools in the Blue League in 3 divisions. Here we are, the second of the 2 semifinals. So once we've crowned a Blue League champion, we'll move on to the quarterfinals of the Silver League. But let's meet tonight's players. You know, ATEC went undefeated in the Blue League's Northeast Division. Their starters are James. Hi, James. Devansh. Howdy, Devansh. There's Daniel. Hi, Daniel. And Jaden. Howdy, Jaden. And here's the rest of the team from ATEC. Meet the ATEC coach, Erica Kaprowski. Now to Valley. They are the wild card. As we mentioned, there were only 3 divisions in the Blue League this year, so the second place teams were put in a drawing to determine the 4th playoff spot. Starting for Valley, let's say hello to Christian. Hi, Christian. There's Matt. Howdy, Matt. Another Christian. Hi, Christian. And Brandon. And let's meet the rest of the Vikings. And the coach for Valley, Ryan Ocampo. There are 25 questions in this first round, with each correct answer worth 5 points. Students, are you ready? Let's play Varsity Quiz. After President Obama vetoed legislation that would allow victims of the 9/11 terror attacks to legally sue Saudi Arabia, that law was nevertheless enacted through what process when the Senate voted 97-1 and the House voted 300? And we'll go with ATEC. Daniel?
The overriding of a veto?
Yes, that is correct. So next question. What movement in the early 1900s galvanized people who believed alcohol consumption was, ATEC, Devansh?
Prohibition.
Incorrect. Was a leading cause of work inefficiency, high accident rates, moral corruption, and the destruction of families. Valley, Matt?
The evangelical movement?
No, it was the temperance movement. No answer there, so the next question is, this prolific Dutch painter sold only one of his paintings before his suicide. And that'll be Valley. Christian?
Van Gogh.
Yes. Russia's Bloody Sunday in 1905 occurred in the immediate vicinity of what palace in St. Petersburg? And that's ATEC, James.
The Kremlin?
No? Valley, Christian?
St. Peter's?
No, we were looking for the Winter Palace. No answer, so the next question. What kind of literary structure is illustrated in the following line by Alexander the Great? I'm not afraid of an army of lions led by a sheep. I'm afraid of an army of sheep led by a lion. Valley, Matt?
Personification?
No? ATEC, Daniel?
Antithesis?
No, it is parallel structure. That is acceptable? Okay, so we will count that as, there it is, antithesis in the fine print, so that is a correct answer. We move on to the next question, which is a calculation question. How many significant digits are in the following number? 0.00021, and that is ATEC, Devansh.
2.
Incorrect. I'll finish the question. How many significant digits in the following number? 0.0002130. Valley, Matt?
6.
Incorrect. We were looking for 5. We move on to the next question. The motto of the British Royal Air Force is Per Ardua ad Astra. Complete this translation. Through adversity to the blank. Valley, Matt?
Stars.
Yes. Next question. Baking soda will not fizz if it is added to what kind of solution? Valley, Matt?
A basic solution?
Yes. Preponderance of evidence, clear and convincing evidence, and beyond a reasonable doubt are legal standards for what burden? ATAC, Devansh?
The burden of proof?
Yes. In 1897, it attracted just 15 participants, but in recent years, the number of registered participants has exceeded 30,000. Name this annual sporting event held in the Massachusetts capital city. ATAC, Devansh?
The Rose Bowl.
Incorrect. Valley, Matt?
The Boston Marathon?
Yes. What does the prefix mean in the following terms? Gastronomy, gastropod, and gastrology. Valley, Christian?
Stomach?
Yes. Next question. By United Nations agreement, what names given to the waters of a coastal country that are supposed to extend at most 12 miles from the low tide mark on their shores? Did he get in time? Okay. ATAC, Daniel?
Exclusive economic zone?
That's incorrect. We were looking for territorial waters. Next question. While foreshadowing just hints at what will come in the future, what similar literary technique actually shows what happens in the future? Valley, Matt?
An illusion?
No? We were looking for flash forward. Next question. Pleistocene, Jurassic, and Cretaceous are examples of what kind of divisions of geologic time? ATAC, Devansh?
Periods.
Incorrect. Valley, Christian?
Eras.
No, they are epochs. Next question. In 1991, Mohammed Barre abandoned his palace in Mogadishu when it was overrun by rebels. Barre had been the dictator of what country for more than 30 years? And that's Valley, Christian?
Somalia?
Yes. The name for what unsafe driving practice in which a driver is constantly looking at things along the roadway? Well, it's a compound word based on the part of the body between the head and shoulders. And that's ATEC, James?
Rubbernecking?
Yes. In the 13th century, Roger Bacon wrote about using lenses of what shape to correct long-sightedness, a vision problem known today as hyperopia or farsightedness. And that's ATEC, James?
Concave?
Incorrect. Valley, Matt?
Convex?
Yes. What poem by Catherine Lee Bates eventually became the words to one of the United States' most enduring patriotic songs? That's after the buzzer. It's America the Beautiful. Next question. Ecologically speaking, what adjective describes substances such as food scraps, cotton, and animal waste that can be readily decomposed? And that's ATEC, Daniel?
Compost?
Incorrect. And that is Valley, Matt?
Biodegradable?
Yes, sir. The Russo-Japanese War began with a dispute in relation to dividing what region of northeast China that was once the homeland of the and that's Valley, Matt?
Manchuria?
Yes. Next question. What's the minimum number of polygons that can enclose a polyhedron? Did he get in time? Okay, so the answer was 4. We move on. In 1958, what man who had organized the Free French Forces from his headquarters in London was elected as the first president of the Fifth Republic? And that's ATEC, Devansh?
Charles de Gaulle?
Yes, sir. What word as an adjective means recurring regularly, and as a verb means to visit a place again and again? And that's ATEC, Jaden?
Frequent?
Yes. Next question. What material is the medium for such sculptures as Bronco Buster and Mountain Man by Frederick Remington? ATEC, Devansh?
Marble?
Incorrect. Valley, Christian?
Clay.
No, the answer, bronze. Tales have developed over the centuries that artifacts such as the Holy Grail and the Ark of the Covenant were acquired and hidden by members of what medieval order of knights? ATEC, Daniel.
The Knights Templar?
Yes, that's the end of round one. But before we move on, we want to take a moment to meet our players. And we will start with Valley here and say hello to 11th grader Christian. How's it going?
Good.
You having fun here on Varsity Quiz?
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about visiting another country here on our planet. You talked about what country you visited.
I went to Iceland 2
How was
summers
that?
ago. It was awesome. I
I
loved
mean,
it.
was that just random, or you know somebody over there?
No, our family just took a trip there. We planned it.
Wonderful. Well, I hope you keep on traveling, and good luck with Varsity Quiz. Thanks, Christian.
Thank you.
And here is 12th grader Matt. Howdy, Matt.
Hello.
Good to have you with us. This says you know every word to Vampire Weekend.
Yeah, every Vampire Weekend song.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's an indie band.
Oh, an indie band.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
been following them since 2009.
You've been, okay, well, keep on following. I'll have to look up Vampire Weekend.
Please do.
And good luck here on Varsity Quiz. Thank you. Here's 12th grader Christian Salazar, another Christian on the Valley. Hi, Christian.
Hello.
I wanted you to tell me about an Olympic sport that you compete in.
Yes, I've been doing Olympic archery since I was 11, and I compete nationally and internationally.
How have you been doing?
Pretty well. Right now, I've been focusing on training. Last summer, I just traveled to South Korea to train with a renowned archery
Do you
coach.
think you might make it on the Olympic team?
Well, that's the hope.
Well, good luck with that, Christian. That's awesome. And good luck here on Varsity Quiz. Thank you. And here is 11th grader Brandon. Hi, Brandon. Would you explain to our audience what strategy games are? That's listed here as one of your hobbies.
Oh, I like to play games such as Risk, which you just play with others and try to beat them out.
Uh-huh.
A lot of thinking, a lot of decisive maneuvers.
Awesome. Well, good luck with that. And we have a strategic game going on right here, Varsity Quiz. Good luck, Brandon. Ladies and gentlemen, that's our team from Valley. Give it up. Now let's meet our players from the Advanced Technologies Academy that everybody calls ATEC. We'll start with James. Hi, James. Senior. This says one of the clubs you participated in is called Rock for Change. What is that?
It's a club where people play instruments and like we hold concerts for charity.
How's that been going?
It's very fun.
What do you play?
I play the bass.
And how many other players in the band?
There's
Does
a
it
lot,
vary?
like 20.
All right. Well, good luck with that. Good luck here at Varsity Quiz. Thanks, James. Here's 10th grader Devansh. Hi, Devansh.
Hi.
This says you're addicted to something. When people say you're addicted to something, it's usually not good, but this is a good one.
Yeah, I'm addicted to reading. It's bad.
What do you like to read? Is it anything?
Anything.
Fiction, nonfiction?
Both. If it's a book, I'll read it.
Awesome. Well, Devansh, that's going to take you places. So good luck with that and good luck on Varsity Quiz. Here's 12th grader Daniel. Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
This says you collect something that some people would consider sort of odd. What do you collect,
I
Daniel?
collect a lot of pens.
Does it matter what kind of pens they are?
I typically collect fountain pens.
Oh, fountain pens. So like a regular Bic or something like that's probably not going to make the cut.
Not for me personally.
Okay, well, I hope you have a wonderful collection of fountain pens, and good luck here in Varsity Quiz. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you.
And here's 11th grader Jaden. Hi, Jaden.
Hi.
You play a musical instrument?
I do.
What is that?
I play the piano.
How long you been doing that?
A few years. I don't recall the
Is it
specific
just for
amount.
fun, or do you do it at school too?
It's specifically for fun. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Well, good luck with all that, and good luck with Varsity Quiz. Ladies and gentlemen, our team from the Advanced Technologies Academy, ATEC. Our bonus round is next. The score going into round two, Valley has 45 points, ATEC 35. Now for Valley, there are no new players. We have the same four as the first round. Good luck to you guys. For the Advanced Technologies Academy, there's one new player. We say hello to Jackie. Hi, Jackie. Good to have you, and good luck. The four general classifications of writing styles include persuasive, expository, descriptive, and what other? And that'll be ATEC, Devansh.
Argumentative?
Incorrect. In which readers learn of a story and the characters involved. Valley, Matt?
Narrative?
Yes. Bonus questions now for Valley only. Answer the following associated with writing. First, for what does the abbreviation POV stand with regard to who's narrating a story? Second, how many I ams are in the following line by Robert Frost? Whose woods these are, I think I know. Captain, your answers?
For our first answer, point of view. For our second answer, 4.
Both are correct. You've got bonus points. Now, this question for both teams. In 2018, the first pedestrian fatality involving an autonomous vehicle involved a car operated by what transportation company? Valley, Brandon.
Uber.
Yes, sir. Bonus questions now for Valley only. Answer the following associated with current events. First, reminiscent of Mr. Spock from Star Trek, for what does the abbreviation stand in this last tweet from Leonard Nimoy? A life is like a garden. Perfect moments can be had but not preserved except in memory. LLAP. And second, recently France has been rocked by those so-called yellow vest protests. These protests are originally sparked by what kind of tax increase? Captain.
For our first answer, live long and prosper. For our second, gas.
The first one is correct. Can we accept the second one? Both are correct. You've got bonus points. Now, this question for both teams. What U.S. highway goes through Vandenberg Air Force Base, Pismo Beach, San Luis Obispo, San Big Sur, and San Francisco? ATAC, Daniel?
The 101.
That's incorrect. Valley, Matt?
The 95.
No, it's simply called Highway 1. So no answer, we move on to the next question. In 1990, what Soviet president recommended that the Soviet Communist Party, that'll be Valley, Christian?
Gorbachev.
Yes, bonus questions now for Valley only. Answer the following associated with Russia. First, this body's been on display since 1924, kept at a constant temperature of 61 degrees Fahrenheit, undergoes a chemical bath every 18 months. Name the corpse preserved in Red Square, Moscow. Second, what nonfiction work by a Nobel Prize-winning Russian tells of his 8 years of hard labor served in Siberia for criticizing Stalin and is a history of the Soviet totalitarian system? Captain.
For our first answer, Vladimir Lenin. For our second, War and Peace.
The first is correct. The second was Gulag Archipelago, so some bonus points. And we move on to this question for both teams. What's the common collective name for free-swimming, umbrella-shaped medusoid members of the Cnidarian class Scyphozoa? ATAC, Jackie?
Jellyfish?
Yes. Bonus questions now for ATAC only. Answer the following associated with science. First, what broad category of transport across cell membranes allows materials to move in and out of a cell with no consumption of energy on the part of the cell? Second, hagfish and lampreys, the only two existing varieties of fish that predated all other fish, were characterized by their lack of what structure?
Spines.
Gills, fins.
I want to say spines. Our first answer is osmosis. Our second is spines.
Both are incorrect. We were looking for passive transport and jaw. So no bonus points. Here's a question for both teams now. In what year did this political headline appear in an American newspaper? Quail runs under bush. Did they get in time? Okay, we'll go with ATAC, Devansh.
2000.
Incorrect, and so the answer was 1988. We move on to a calculation question. Simplify the product 2x to the 5th y squared times 3y cubed. Repeating, simplify the product 2x to the 5th y squared times 3y cubed. We'll go with ATAC, James.
2x to the 5th, 3y to the 5th.
That's incorrect. And time, we were looking for 6x to the 5th, y to the 5th. So no correct answer, we move on. Both teams here, the United States' first airborne test of a hydrogen bomb occurred in 1956 when a B-52 released one over what Pacific atoll? ATAC, Daniel.
Bikini.
Yes. Bonus questions now for the Advanced Technologies Academy. Answer the following associated with atolls. First, Inuiatak is a circular atoll in the Rallick chain of what islands? Second, 3 of the 4 atolls in the Western Hemisphere can be found in waters off the coast of what Central American country that's formerly known as British Honduras?
What? Honduras. I'm going to say Galapagos for the second. Do you have any idea for the first? No answer for the first. The Galapagos Islands for the second.
Both are incorrect. We're looking for Marshall Islands and Belize. And we're out of time. Our speed round is next. Going into round 3, the score, Valley 85, ATEC 45. Anything can happen in the speed round. Here we go. In the American Revolution, soldiers in a line would simultaneously discharge their muskets at the opposition. What's the term for such a firing? ATEC, James?
Firing line?
Incorrect. And time, it's a volley. Next, what was the actual name of nobody who drove a spear into, and that's ATEC, Devansh?
Odysseus.
Yes. Amorphous solids do not exhibit what kind of structure? ATEC, James?
Crystalline?
Yes. Speak up a little bit more next time, James. Name the cartilaginous disc that functions as a cushion between the ends of bones that meet at the joint. ATEC, Devansh?
Joint.
No? Valley, Matt?
A tendon?
No, we're looking for meniscus. Moving on, what 2 colors are part of the names for the 2 major tributaries of the Nile River? ATEC, Devansh?
Yellow and red.
Incorrect. Valley, Christian?
White and red.
Incorrect. We're looking for white and blue. We move on. How many radians are there in a straight angle? ATEC, Daniel?
Pi radians.
Yes. What decree by Abraham Lincoln officially invited former slaves of suitable condition? And that'll be ATEC, James.
The Emancipation Proclamation?
Yes, sir. Basic art elements include line, space, form, value, and what other element? Beginning with the letter T as in Tom. And that's ATEC, Daniel.
Texture.
Yes. What Canadian province encompasses a mainland peninsula and the adjacent Cape Breton island? Valley, Christian?
British Columbia.
Incorrect. ATEC, James?
Quebec?
No, it's Nova Scotia. Moving on. Obtained by leaching wood ashes. What's the common name for either potassium hydroxide or sodium hydroxide? ATEC, Daniel?
Baking soda.
Incorrect. Time, the answer is lie. Moving on, crimes such as bribery, loan sharking, and extortion are collectively known by what term? ATEC, Devansh?
White collar crimes.
Incorrect. Looking for racketeering. We move on. What European country has rivers that drain into the Mediterranean Sea, the Bay of Biscay, and the English Channel? Valley, Brandon?
France?
Yes, sir. Moving on. Associated with medicine, what creatures are part of the caduceus symbol? ATEC, James?
Snakes?
Yes, sir. In most U.S. states, if the governor dies or is removed from office, what official succeeds to that position? ATEC, Devon?
Attorney General.
Incorrect. Valley, Christian?
The Secretary of State.
Incorrect. It's Lieutenant Governor. Moving on, in the Vietnam War, the M16 was America's answer to what Soviet-made assault rifle? ATEC, James?
AK-47?
That's correct. Moving on, is a calculation question, no repeating here in the third round. What is 27 to the 4/3 power? Did they get in time? We'll go with ATEC. James?
3?
Incorrect. We're looking for 81. Moving on, name the British author of The Picture of Dorian Gray. I should read it as Oscar Wilde. Moving on, name the result of applying a force to rotate an object around an axis. ATEC, James?
Torque?
Yes. What kind of monarchy is often characterized by having a figurehead leader? ATEC, Devon?
A constitutional monarchy.
Yes. What disease infected some 500 million people around the world at the end of the First World War? Valley Christian?
Spanish flu.
Yes. In 2017, Bo Bergdahl pled guilty to desertion and endangering his comrades while stationed in what country? ATAC, Devansh?
Afghanistan.
Yes. What unit for measuring distance was derived from Old English words meaning furrow and long? ATAC, Daniel?
Yard.
Incorrect. Valley, Matt?
Foot?
No, we were looking for furlong. Havasupai, Kaibab, and Hualapai are Native American reservations located in what state? Valley, Brandon?
Washington.
Incorrect. ATAC, Jackie?
Montana.
No, they're in Arizona. How many players are in the starting lineup for an NFL team? ATAC, James?
12.
Incorrect. Valley, Christian?
11.
Yes. During the Battle of the Bulge, General Patton's Third Army relieved the besieged Allied defenders of what Belgian city? Valley, Christian?
Brussels.
Incorrect. ATAC, James?
Holland.
No, it was Bastogne. The 4 P's, as in Paul, 4 P's of marketing include product, promotion, place, and what else? Valley, Matt?
Profit?
Incorrect. I think you got in time, so that's ATAC, Daniel?
Popularity.
No, we're looking for pricing. What kind of device for telling time could you make by reading the 1620 treatise with this title, Constructio Instrumenti ad Horologio Solaria? Advanced Technologies, James?
Sundial.
Yes. Name Asia's longest river. ATAC, Devansh?
The Yellow River.
Incorrect. Valley, Christian?
Yangtze.
Yes. What kind of angles are between 180 and 360 degrees? ATAC, Daniel?
Degrees.
That's incorrect. And Valley, Matt?
Obtuse?
No, they are reflex angles, and we're out of time. Let's find out who won. Our final score was one of the closest matches we've had on Varsity Quiz. Valley, 105, ATAC, 100. We want to say thank you to both teams for an excellent match. Wow. Congratulations to Valley for the win. So Valley will be facing Silverado for the Blue League Championship, and we hope you'll tune in for another exciting night of Varsity Quiz next Monday at 7:30, right here on Vegas PBS. Good night.